everyone! Are you interested to learn how to solve the Mastermorphix? Then you're in the right place. Let's get started. But before that, I want to give you some information about the Mastermorphix. So the Mastermorphix is actually like a 3 by 3. It's the shape mod of a 3 by 3. Let me explain you the pieces. So first the centers. The centers are the middle part in the 3 by 3. But in a Mastermorphix, the centers are the pieces which have two colors. So it's, for example, this is a center because it has two colors, not this one. These two are this one is the center, this is a center, this is a center, and this is a center. Okay, so now we know centers. Now let's learn about edges. Edges are the pieces which are next to the centers and have one color. This has one color, but this is not an edge because it's not next to center. This is an edge because it has one color and it's next to a center. Like this. This is next to here, this is next to here, and this is next to here. So these three are edges. These three are edges. These three are edges, and these three are edges. Then corners. So in a 3 by 3, corners are pieces which have three colors. Same applies to a Mastermorphix, but there are actually two types of corners in a Mastermorphix. One is the normal, it has three colors. For example, this one, has three colors, so it's a corner. This one is a corner, this one is a corner. But the other type is it has one color and it is in the middle. For example, this is a corner because it has one color and it is in the middle. So these four are corners. These four are corners. These four are corners, and these four are corners. So we know all of the pieces. Now let's get started. Okay, so now I'll mix up my cube first. Okay, so now I mixed up my cube. Now let's start. So the first step in a 3 by 3 is to solve the white cross. But in a Mastermorphix, we have to do the first step is first step is to align the centers first. So what we have to do is we have to choose one center. So when I start, we have to choose any center. For example, I choose this center. And you have to, in this center, you have to choose at least one color. For example, I'll choose yellow. So we have to search for some more centers with yellow color. For example, this one, no, it doesn't have yellow. This one, no, it doesn't have yellow. This one has yellow and this one has yellow. So you have to align these to match this center, like this. Do some moves to align these three centers together. Now after you align, now let's start. Now we can start. First the white cross. So in a 3 by 3, but in a Mastermorphix it's little more complicated as you have to solve the cross in a different way. So see here, for example, I chose this center as in the first, right? This is my main center, okay? So I have to, in this main center, I have to fill this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. So not any edge, but this should be an yellow edge, this should be a yellow edge, this should be green, and this should be green, and everything should be flesh. Flesh means that it should like match. If for example, this is not flesh because it's in a different shape and it's not matching to this center. So we have to make all should be flesh. So for example, I can insert this yellow here by doing joining like this, and it's flesh. So there are two cases. When you join it, if it's flesh, then we put it down, bring it back up, bring this back up. Now it's like that. Now what we can do, let's search for another yellow and put it over here. See one yellow. So I will align it here, and now it's flesh. So I'll bring it down, bring it up, bring it there. Now I have two. But one more case. See this case. See, and now I'm going to join this edge, but it's not flesh. So in this case, you have to bring this piece up, okay, and then you can join it. Now it's joining. Then I'll bring it like this down, and then bring this back up. Sometimes that one more edge you did will get messed up. It's okay. So what I can do is, it's over here. So I'll bring it up by doing R like this, and then now it's flesh. So I'll bring it down, bring it up like that, and then like that. Now I see it. So in the main center, I solved the yellow edges, but I have to. I'm not still done. I'm only halfway done because I had to solve the green edges. So for example, you had to use the same method. For example, I'm gonna put this edge over here by doing like this, but it's not flesh. You should not do an algorithm like that, but instead you can do some moves so it can be flesh. Like I can do like this, like this, and you should not mess up the yellow edges on these centers. And then let me try. Yeah, it's flesh with this center also. So then, but it's not flesh with this center. We should make sure it's flesh with both centers. So if it's not flesh with this center, I should bring it out, and then I should bring it back, do a U or U prime, and then bring it back like this down. Now is it flesh? If it's still not flesh, that means you keep on repeating it until it's flesh. It should be green only. If it's flesh with the red, it doesn't count. If it's flesh with red, it should only be flesh with green. Like this, and then I will bring it back like this. Now I will solve this edge, for example like that and like that. Now now my edge is flesh and this center is also flesh, so I don't have to do that what I did before, aligning the edge with the centers. So now we solved our cross, not the white cross but the cross. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, next step after in a 3x3, the next step is of course the first layer. So we are going to do the same thing, solve the first layer, except it'll be more complicated as there are two types of corners. So what we have to do is, we have to insert this corner over here, because remember this is also a corner. It should insert here, this corner should go here, this corner should go over here, and then for here it's this corner, because yellow, blue, red, this yellow should go here. Okay, so what I can do is, I can start with this corner. So what I have to do, I have to use the algorithm R prime, D prime, R, D until it comes up. So I have to put the cross down, I should put it up, the cross, and then I should do R prime, D prime, R, D. Now it came. Now what I will do is, I will move on to this edge. Now it's already here, so I'll do R prime, D prime, R, D. It came. This one, R prime, D prime, R, D, it came. And we are already done with the first layer, because this one is already solved. Keep on doing R prime, D prime, R, D until it gets solved. So what I have to do is, next what you have to do is, in the 3x3 is to solve the second layer. What to solve the second layer? How to solve the second layer is, you have to insert edges using one of the two algorithms. Okay, which is U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F, or U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. So so if you don't know these algorithms, you have to watch my 3x3 tutorial, which I'll be posting in the description box below. Okay, so now For example, I am going to insert, I'll insert this edge. And now I see the red edge and I want to insert it. So what you have to do is, in a 3 by 3, you have to match to its correct corresponding center and do the one of the two algorithms to bring it. But in a Mastermorphix, so in a Mastermorphix, you should not do like that. Instead, you should check which is flush or not flush. For example, this red edge is flushed with this center, so it's the wrong center. You should not put it here. So let's see this one. This is not flush, so this is correct. So this should go here, which is the right side. It should go on the right side. So if it goes on the right side, you have to do the right side algorithm, which is U R U prime R prime U prime F prime U and F, like this. Now what I will do is, here I see this edge, it's not flush here, it's flush over here, I mean, so the wrong edge, it's not flush over here, and it goes in the right. So I do the algorithm. Now this one, I have this edge, and now it's not flush over here, but it's flush over here. So this is the correct center, and it goes in the left. And if it goes in the left, you should do U prime L prime U L U F U prime F prime, and it comes, inserts inside. Here, right is flush, so like that. And now my second layer is solved. So next step of the second layer in a 3 by 3 is you have to solve the cross, yellow cross. Now my cross is already solved actually. So what I will do is I'll mix it up like, okay. So how to solve the cross is you should apply a method. So for example, we have to check which is flush and which is not flush. For example, I take this edge, and now it's flush with this center. And where is the other blue edge? It's here. So when I bring it here, this is also flush, so it's wrong. So what is when the cross is solved, if one is flush but the other will not be flush, then only we can know that the cross is solved. Now this is not solved. So when it's like this and it's over here, it's in the back side. In that case, it's like the 9 o'clock symbol case in a 3 by 3. What you have to do is you have to do F R U R prime U prime R U R prime U prime F prime, and then cross will be solved. So one more case. Sorry. Yeah. So for example, I'm taking this edge as my main edge, and it's over here. Okay, my other edge. Now when I match this, it's here. It's front. But it's not, the other edge is not in the back, but it's in front. So in that case, it's like the line case in a 3 by 3. So what you have to do is, you should do F R U R prime U prime F prime, and then let's check. For example, this over here is not flush, but when I match here, it's flush, so it's correct. So okay, so now these are all the cases which will happen in a Mastermorphix in the cross. Okay, so next step is to orient the edges in a 3 by 3. So we're going to do that in the Mastermorphix also. So now what we have to do is, you have to find two edges which are in the correct place in a 3 by 3, and then we have to put it in the back, one in the back and one in the right, and then do R U R prime U R U2 R prime U, right? So you're going to apply the same thing to the Mastermorphix. So I put, so for example, I'll find these two are in the correct place, but when I these two are flush, but one is only in the correct place. But when I match like this, two edges are in the correct place. So what I have to do is I'll put it in the back right and then do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime, U. And now it's solved. So sometimes after you do the algorithm, your center will get like it will be flush or it will be solved with the edges. If it's not solved, that means you have to do an extra step. For me, it's not solved and it's not flush, so I have to do an extra step. Okay, so first case is when you have a center which is not flush. In that case, you have to do the algorithm of the 9 o'clock symbol algorithm. I told you right before when I have to solve the cross, you should do that algorithm. F R U R prime U prime, again R U R prime U prime F prime, and then after you do that, it will reduce it to one case. Now I see two edges which are in the correct place, so I'll put them in the back and then do R U R prime U R U2 R prime U. Okay, sometimes the edges will be solved, or sometimes there will be a flipped edge, or after you solve the cross edges itself, there will be a flipped edge case. So when you have a flipped edge case, you do the R U R prime U R U2 R prime U algorithm one time, two times actually you should do, and then one more time, 1, 2, and 2, and then it will get solved. The edge, the center will get put in the correct place. So next step is to orient the corners in the correct place. Okay, so next is to solve the corners. So there are two type of corners in a Mastermorphix, right? So what do you have to do? You have to search in a 3x3. You have to search for at least one corner which is in the correct place. If there are no corners, if there's one corner, you have to put it in the right. You should put it in the right, yeah, and then you should do U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. So the same applies to a Mastermorphix. For example, I find that this type of corner is in the correct place. So what I will do is I'll put it in the right, to U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. Now still it's not in the correct place, so I'll do it again. U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. Now all edges are in the correct place. So our corners are in the correct place. Sorry. So one more case. Okay, so in this case I have one of these type of corners in the correct place. Then I'll put it in the right, to U R U prime L prime U R prime U prime L. Now it's still not oriented, so I'll do it again, and now it's oriented. So let me show you last case. Okay, so in this example there are no corners in the correct place. Not in the correct place, nothing is in the correct place. In that case, you should do the same algorithm one time, anywhere of course, and then you will see one corner, at least one type of corner in the correct place. Then I put it in the right, or sometimes you put it in the right and then do U R U prime U prime U R prime U prime L, and then you put the corners in the correct place. So the last step is to, of course, permute the corners in the correct place in a 3x3. So you will use the algorithm R prime D prime R D. So the same applies to a Mastermorphix. So for example, this corner needs to be flipped. Okay, so one of these type of corners doesn't need to be flipped because it will already be in the correct place, but these corners need to be flipped sometimes. So in that case, I have to do R prime D prime D until it comes in the correct place. Yeah, now it came. Now, extra step in a Mastermorphix. After you do it, you should check if your layer is still solved. If it's not solved, for example, in my case it's not solved, then you should bring one of these type of corners over here and then do R prime D prime R D until that layer is fixed, like this. And then I will do a U and solve the cube. One more case. Is when you have two corners flipped. For example, in this case I have two corners flipped. In this case I have to do R prime D prime R D the same way. I will do R prime D prime R D, D prime R D, R prime D prime R D, R prime D prime R D, and then I will bring this corner over here and then do R prime D prime R D again. And then if your second layer is fixed, you can do a U2 to make it solid. Else, if it's not fixed, then you bring one of these corners and then do R prime D prime R D until it's fixed. And then you do a U or U prime. So I hope you like my tutorial. So thank you for watching my video and see you in another video. Bye.